Get to know the people around you. Listen to those whose perspectives are different from your own. Allow yourself to ask new questions and to test old beliefs. Join an organization. Join lots of organizations. Join an organization you thought you would never join. Start a new organization. When you walk across the commencement stage in 2013, this campus will be a different place, in large measure because of the contributions you have made, including the organizations you have formed, the causes you have championed, and the passions you have pursued. See the world. Your education begins in the classroom but extends far beyond the boundaries of this campus. Begin thinking now about where you will go. Be responsible. Maybe this is my parental moment, but I owe it to remind you of the importance of responsible behavior and mature decisions. You will be presented all kinds of opportunities to make good decisions, but you may encounter opportunities to make decisions that have the potential to destroy you. Each year across the country, college campuses experience dreadful tragedies because of poor decisions, particularly related to alcohol. Be responsible. Manage well the new freedom that has been given to you. And understand that part of life in a community is responsibility for the well-being of those around you. Hold one another accountable. Expect the best from those around you and expect the best from yourself. Know that we will expect the best from you and that we will hold you accountable as well. You have too much potential, and the world has too much need for your great potential for it to be squandered. Be responsible. Have fun. Tonight you are embarking on what may be the most exciting time in your life. The opportunity to spend 4 years at a residential college where all dimensions of life, work and play, intellectual and social, reflective and active, material and spiritual, all dimensions of life are bound together in a single place. It is a rare privilege. Cherish the privilege and enjoy the ride. It just may be the time of your life. Dream big. When you receive your diploma, we want you to be able to say not that you accomplished everything you hoped to accomplish at OWU, but that you accomplished at OWU what you had never before dreamed that you could accomplish. And taking a tip from the theme of orientation, get rooted. Take time to allow your roots to run deep. Soak up everything about this place. Let this place nourish every aspect of who you are. Feed your intellect. Strengthen your body. Nourish your soul. Sustain your values. Let your roots run deep. This year, we will watch the construction of a new aquatic center. It will be called the Meek Aquatic and Recreation Center, honoring the generous philanthropy and the leadership of Phil and Nancy LaPorte Meek, members of the Ohio Wesleyan class of 1959. Last spring, they returned with their classmates to celebrate their 50-year reunion. And on Saturday morning on this stage, Phil Meek received a distinguished alumni citation. And in response to the citation, he talked about the ways in which the Ohio Wesleyan roots in his life run deep, about the ways in which his Ohio Wesleyan experience has influenced the major decisions of his life. He talked about how finishing at Ohio Wesleyan and at Harvard Business School, he joined the finance division at Ford Motor Company, where he enjoyed a rapidly advancing career. He helped host an alumni gathering for Ohio Wesleyan alumni in the Detroit area, and one of the people in attendance was his old history professor, Dr. Jennings, from the Ohio Wesleyan campus. Following the event, Dr. Jennings pulled Phil aside, he said to Phil, "Phil, congratulations on all that you are doing in your business career, but when are you going to do something," and this was the word, "significant"? A few days later, Phil was summoned to the office of the president of Ford Motor Company, who asked if he would be willing to accept an assignment outside of the finance division to go on loan from Ford Motor Company to the city of Detroit to help bandage the wounds caused by the riots. He talked to his friends. They all said, "Never do it. Your career will get off track and never be restored." He went home and he talked to Nancy, and together they remembered the piercing question of Dr. Jennings: when will you do something significant? The next day, he accepted the responsibility, and he did the job. About a year later, he was back at Ford Motor Company when he received a call from someone he had met while on that assignment, asking if he would be interested in becoming the publisher of the newspaper in Pontiac. He accepted that and began what became a very strong career for him in newspaper and publishing industries, ultimately becoming head of the publishing division of Capital Cities ABC and then of Disney when the company sold to Disney. During that time, he served for a period of time as the publisher of the newspaper in Fort Worth, Texas. And while he was in that role, the news staff uncovered a story and investigated the story. It was a story that would be disruptive to much of the corporate leadership of Fort Worth and to much of the social fabric of the community. Phil was under immense pressure to not print the story. He went home the night before the decision must be made, and he recalled his days at Ohio Wesleyan working on the transcript. And he recalled the legendary professor who built the journalism program here. And he asked himself the question to which he knew the answer before asking: what would Vern Edwards do? He went in the next day, he called the news team together, and he said, "The story will run. Regardless of the impact on subscriptions, regardless of the impact on advertising, the story will run." Phil Meek had roots that ran deeply at Ohio Wesleyan. He finished his student days here 50 years ago. 54 years ago, he and Nancy sat where you are sitting tonight. But in 4 brief years on this campus, he became rooted in a very deep way. 50 years later, he traced the major professional, civic, and personal decisions of his life to lessons he learned and to roots he nourished on this campus. When you walk out of this grand chapel tonight, you will be surrounded by historic trees that have graced this campus since the founding of this university. Their roots are deep, and their branches spread wide. Over the next 4 years, your roots can run deep, and over the 50 that follow, your branches can spread wide. And 54 years from now, some group of you will have those stories of your own that you will tell.